All right. Hello and welcome. This is first video for me on a new game that I've discovered, which is Wurm Online. Let me tell you, I've never had a stranger experience with a game where pretty much I can spend like, you know, the first day I think I spent like 4 hours digging a hole. And like I'm still here playing this game, which is it's crazy for me to think about a game like this would be that addicting, but geez, it is. And it's crazy to me that this game doesn't have more exposure to it. Unfortunately, it is nighttime right now. Maybe I should wait till day, but I don't know. Um, but yeah, wish I'd thought about doing this video like the day I started playing because um, I think it would be interesting to have seen the progress of like the before where it was all wooded up and looking like this and now it looks like it is. But I just didn't think about it. In all honesty, I um was playing another game and I joined a Discord server and someone mentioned this game and I looked it up. I was like, that sounds interesting because the topic of discussion was you know, certain game mechanics. And I looked at the game, found out it was free, downloaded it, played it for a few hours, and here I am, like 80 hours into the game, just thoroughly, completely addicted, straight up digging holes. And you can see a little pile of dirt here, all this, just totally addicted to the game. Um, it's actually kind of ridiculous how addicting it is, but yeah, I thought I would start now. Give you a tour of the deed, tell you about future plans and um, why certain things are the way they are right now, and all this kind of stuff. And hopefully, we can achieve some things in the next week or so. And I'll do another update and you know see how far we can get. So here's my inventory at the moment. Not much to see there at all. If we go into skills, here's our skills. Again, not much to see at all here. A lot of this is still ones because I've not really done much other than build and clear my land and try to set up a decent starting base, if you will. Basically, start working on you know getting my cooking up and then my smithing up and then healing. I need to go forage and start work getting all the things to grind out healing, and then I gotta figure out how religion like there's so much in this game that I'm like so archery. Like I'm so far from learning everything that like even when I get done with this and I'm tired of building and all that kind of stuff, like there's something else to go to and learn and grind out. You know what I mean? So like, but I'm still not even done. I'm not even bored like building and digging holes yet. Like that's the crazy like charm of this game. But anyway, let's get to the main event. Let's go through deed, show where we're at right now. So this is sort of the beginning stages of the entrance, quote unquote. The starting village is somewhere way out here. When I logged in, I literally just followed the water to where I'm at here, and it looks pretty good. Um, at the time, I didn't know how the game worked, and I had no idea that I was deeded so close to this guy. I feel really bad about it now, but he's not been on the entire like month and a half that I've played, and no one else has seen him for a couple weeks before I started playing. So I think maybe possibly we're not going to have any issue, but I feel really bad for this guy because I come in here not knowing how the game works, deed right next to him. This guy deeded like 2 weeks after me, so he put his property down there 2 weeks after me. There's like two people had like logged in and played for the day over here. on this side of the water. Then there's a massive alliance group. There's two on the far side of the forest here, which we'll look at those another time. But he's completely surrounded, and his options for expansion are pretty low if he does come back. Like let's say his life situation changes and he's able to play a lot more. His options are limited. So what I've done here, let's go on up. This is the what I've done here is let's just do this. This hole, by the way, someone was digging this hole out. I didn't do this. Someone else was digging this hole out in front of my base or my deed. And so I've expanded out to hopefully try and like stop them. And I'm kind of makeshifting this hole because I don't know where it came from, but it just kept getting bigger and bigger until I started filling it, and nobody's copped up to it, so I have no idea. But anyway, since we deeded close to this guy and I felt really bad, what I've done is I'm building my walls right here, and I'm not expanding this way at all, right? In fact, I'm going to be expanding further back into the forest this way or going straight up the hill because this is all mountain straight up. It's going to be a huge pain to dig out, but I'm either going this way or I'm going that way, just so he can have these tiles because that's a pretty good chunk of space. It's going to take him a while to get used to it. His section here that he already has is not super well developed as far as I can tell. So using what limited knowledge I have of the game, that space he has right there should keep him busy for quite a while if he decides to log back in. But if not, he can still expand it out to my wall here, I assume. That's it. He can go straight up to the wall. I have no problem with that. And then he can still go, straight out pretty darn far. So that way we're trying to preserve his expansion abilities as best we can. But anyway, into the deed. This is the little entrance I'm working on, quote unquote entrance. Building this area over here up to make a lookout, like a big tower type lookout. I may or may not add more to the size of this road, but walking up to the road, you've got the orchard, very small, lined with the orange trees because they're small and rounded and kind of uniform. I kind of like the look. The other ones get a little bit taller behind it, cherry trees, and over here we've got apple trees. So you'll have smaller orange trees in the front, and then your taller apple trees and more cherry trees in the back. Yep. So walking up, you see the beginnings of our wall. What I'm doing is I'm trying to wall in my initial sort of starting area. This is expanded from the original tiles that they give you, but this is what I'm calling my quote unquote starter space. I'm trying to wall all this in and sort of make it the main sort of operating space, if you will. I found some pottery bricks on a random roam, so I decided to put those in. Thought it looked nice. Turned out pretty nice. But moving on up, this is where my trees were before I changed my mind. I will cut these down eventually, but I'm hoping they'll sprout a little bit before I need to cut them down. That way we can replant and keep those trees somewhere else. But all this line right here is going to be buildings, little shacks, and all that kind of stuff. Right here in the 3x2 area, I plan to have what I hope if there's no skill limit that I run into, I want to build a 2-story sort of main building, quote unquote, where I store everything or everything that I need to. Because I've got this shack right here and it's fine, it's decent, but it's small. And I don't want to expand it anymore because I want to get rid of it so that I can convert this all into farmland, right? So we'll have storage here where I'm standing. We'll have all this to be farmland. We have the animal pen up on the raised area, right? And then over here, we've got a mine, okay? And the mine, the way that I'm going to do that is pretty much, I'm going to bash this fence down too. I actually made this fence in a rush because one of my neighbors had given me like a couple of horses. I had nowhere to put them, so I freaked out because I didn't want the thing to run away. And I built this little square and couldn't bash it until 21 strength, and I just got it. Like, at least that's what it said, yeah. And I just got 21 strength today as I was chopping trees, so I'm going to get rid of this. May or may not build a faux entrance, something kind of out of the wood. But we'll see how that goes. Definitely want to get a mine door here to lock up. And here's our mine, and you can see what I'm doing. I'm basically going to mine directly underneath my deed. Starting right here, we're just going to start going straight out and long ways and all that stuff. And the way that I'm proceeding forward with the expansion of the mine right now is I need stone shards to make bricks to finish my wall. So what I do is I will come down here and I'll kill two birds. Sorry, my game minimized. I'll kill two birds with one stone. I'll come down here and I'll expand a little bit, collect the shards. I'll put them in this box. When I get bored of mining, I will come over here, I'll make my bricks, take my bricks, and then I will add, 5 or 6 layers of wall or lines of wall. This is sort of the plan right now to take the wall around. We've got this nice little slope here. That's a 15 slope, and all these tiles right here are flat. So these are all going to be the tall walls all the way around. This is sort of where I left off. So this is a 15 slope, and then we're going to do the line, continue it down. Climb on up. Just cleared these trees out. I've got a few more at the end here to clear. I'm going to make this 15 slope all along the fence line here. Keep going. So all this will be a 15 slope. And we're going to carry it all the way to the edge over here. So we're going to carry that 15 slope all the way to here, match this. We're going to bring the wall around to meet this right here. So all that'll be enclosed. After that, so after those stone walls are all done wrapped around, obviously I've got to level this out too. So let me just come back here. So I'm going to level as best I can. Hopefully I don't hit rock here. I'm going to flatten all this to match these tiles. Straight up to, okay. So this is going to be a slope. This line will be slopes. So this tile and this tile will all be flat to match this. You're going to have slopes right here. And then my wooden fence, this right here, I'm going to drag it out to right here. It's going to connect to the stone wall. Hopefully I'm making sense. But it'll make more sense as we go. But I want to bring the wooden fence to meet the tall stone wall. And then I want to go around and bash out all these gates. And that will be, so all these back gates right here, I'm going to bash out all of those. And then our stone wall will be our new animal pen area. Um, Another plan with that is somewhere along here, um, somewhere kind of like right here. Want to make an opening in the stone wall. We'll probably go up like 2 or 3 tiles, right? And then all on this side of the stone wall, we'll do another set of animal pen. Yeah, so that's the plan for now. So we're gonna do another set of animal pens here, and we're gonna keep the animals separate. Right now, they're all kind of mixed. We're gonna kind of, you know, put them all in their respective pens as best I can. Of course, this is subject to change depending on how everything's looking. But yeah, want to have at least 4 pens to keep the different types of animals in and breed them a little bit easier, so that I'm not dragging the bull all the way over to the cow and all the horses and stuff, and can actually reasonably start bringing in more animals. Because if I get too many animals in this pen, we'll start to get diseases and whatever. And I think I'm pretty far from that happening, but for future use, I want to be ready for that. So yeah, that's the plan with the wall. We're just going to bring it around, connect it to that. All of this will be flat, hopefully. This level will be flat with these tiles with the bison standing. All this will be flattened out, and then that will be the quote unquote main area of the deed. We'll put a little fence in here. Like say all this will be farmland. All this will be buildings, nice and neatly lined up, organized. Hopefully soon, because right now it's can't tell. It's a huge mess. um, but yeah, man, it's coming along. I wish I'd made this, a few weeks ago when I started, because you got to think it's kind of crazy to have this. I know it doesn't look like much to you experienced Wurm players, but pretty much the deed looked like this, right? Except for a lot more hilly. This is an unusually flat area, which is why I want to snatch it up before someone comes in. um, yeah, it all looked pretty much like this, a little bit more hilly, and it's taken forever to flatten this out. I'm so excited because I should have this flattened out and cleared and clean by the end of tomorrow, I think. Maybe the end of tonight. If I can sort of stay up long enough to do it. But yeah, I'm excited for how this is going to turn out, because once these trees are gone and once this dirt is flattened and leveled with the rest of it where I need it to be, we're just grinding out walls. I'm hoping by the time I get all these walls done, my masonry should be what's my masonry? Yeah, so we're at 23. So my masonry should be up to 30 by that time. I don't see how it won't be. I understand that the skill ticks are going to go down, but like it really should. It's 23 now with this done. By the time I get all this done with stone walls, it should be to 30. I can't imagine it won't be. But yeah, that's the plan. And this is where we're at right now with that plan. Um, yeah, I'm pretty much. What was that sound? I also don't know the sounds in this game because I usually don't play with headphones. I have no idea what that was. Where's my neighbor at? Yeah, he's still here somewhere. But yeah, anyway, that's the plan. Can't wait. But all this effort is going into making these stone walls turn out right, and being able to craft those stone walls just to get this building made. And it's taken me like a week or two so far to get up to this point, this has been the plan for like a week. So we're working on it. We're getting there. My next video will either be after I get the stone walls done or when I run into a problem. Just to sort of make an update. But I'll do occasional like status updates as I go, and just see what's going on. Like I say, man, I wish I'd started this like the moment I got on this game because it really has been a slow go, struggling learning experience. Um, I come from a game called Rust. A lot of you know it. It's actually insanely popular right now because they just opened it up to a special server to a bunch of super famous streamers. So the game's insane right now. So a lot of you probably know it and have heard of it more recently. And I thought Rust was a grind. I thought Rust was a grind. This game is absurd. It is an absurd grind and a huge time suck. But geez, there's something about the game that it's just rewarding. And if you're one of these people who looks at the game and says, "Oh, the graphics are trash," trust me, dude, the graphics, if they were any more upgraded, it would be so difficult to run this game. And that's one of the reasons I like it is because it's so accessible, and I can have all these entities, and there are places so much larger. Let's walk over here while I'm talking. I'll show you one. There are places so much larger that have so many more entities, and I can still run the game really well. This FPS counter I don't think is right, to be honest, because it was 60 and now it just says 21, but I don't know, I can't get it to change. But anyway, game feels a lot smoother than most others. I've got a crappy PC. Let's just be real with it. But yeah, it's if the game had any different graphics or any like crazy insane graphics, it would be so difficult to run the game when you get into monuments or feeds like this, where they're just huge. This one expands out very, very far. He's actually got his gates locked, so I can't proceed. But walk around his place a little bit. But yeah, if you're one of these people that looks at the game and says, "Oh, it's trash. The graphics are trash," you know, play, if you're in that mentality, there's so much more to this game than the graphics. Like, see this boat here. He's built this. He's got all this that he's built. Guard towers, big build. All of this, I would imagine he has shaped one way or another. He's got multiple boats over here. A little Colossus on the way. Let's go through here. All this land he's shaped up. All these he's shaped up. That's the thing I love about this game is pretty much every single thing you see was done by players. There's no pre-generated anything other than starting towns, I don't think. And all the roads, all the buildings, literally every single thing is player generated. It's got a little distillery going. Nice. He's got tons going on. I always got everything on. I wasn't like that the other day. I talked to him about that. See what I did wrong. What I did. No. But all this he's built out. Oh, just fire. Oh, yeah. You're walking slow now, dude. All right. But anyway, that's the point. I want to run from the spider. But yeah, man, the game is so huge and has so much going on in terms of the creativity and the the scale of everything. It's literally limitless what you can do. The only real issue that I have with the game is the crazy, crazy, crazy amount of prerequisites to do everything. Um, there's one big issue that I've had starting up with this game is that you have this help channel down here. You can see where my mouse is. You have this help channel, and you can ask questions all day long, and it's the most friendly game ever. Like everyone's so willing to help. Um, it's a huge stark contrast to Rust because Rust is the most toxic gaming community I think I've ever played in. Um, the help channel, everyone's so nice and so friendly and just great, fantastic. Um, the only real issue with that is I'll ask a question sometimes and I'll get an answer like, okay, you need this kind of box to help slow decay of items. Then you go and you figure out, oh, well, I can't just make the box. I need to have like, 10 carpentry, or, I can't just make, I think the most frustrating like learning curve I had was when I made my large cart. Um, I was so frustrated because I was asking like what kind of a container I needed, right? Like what can I just what's a quick and easy like boost to store things? And they said, oh, get a cart. Go and get a large cart. Make it a large cart. Don't do the small. Get a large. And here I go to make the large cart, thinking that I can just grind out the materials, the planks, the nails, and all this stuff, and just make it. No, you actually have um, this crafting window, and anything. Nope, that's not the crafting window. Crafting window. So every single step, so you have to make, and I'm hardly remembering this, but every single step you have to go through and complete, quote unquote. So there's what they call unfinished items. And that concept was never explained to me. And so the people were telling me to make this large cart, and I was like, okay, this won't be too bad. And it literally took me like 3 hours to make this large cart that these horses are pulling. Like 3 hours because there's so many prerequisites and like things you need to make the current thing you need. Right? So if I go, what am I looking for? So if I go, say, cart, right? So a new player, when you're told to make a large cart, you go, okay, let's look at our crafting recipes. Okay, I need planks and a wheel axle. Great. Okay, and I need additionally planks, small nails, shaft, and yoke. No problem. Let's see, where do I get a wheel axle from? Okay, I need a wheel. What am I hearing? Spider? No idea what I'm hearing right now. Hang on. What am I hearing? I think I'm hearing their sound, like here. Is that what I'm hearing? Has to be. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, you go to click the large, you see, okay, I need a small wheel axle. I want to make a small wheel axle. Well, I need a small wheel. It's like, okay, and a shaft. Okay, well, crap. I'll make a small wheel. So you go to the small wheel menu, you make the shaft. And you're like, okay, how do I make a shaft? And it's like, okay, I need a carving knife and a log. Well, I don't have a carving knife. So how do you make a carving knife? You go to the carving knife. You need a carving knife blade and a handle. Crap, I don't have either one of those. So how do I make a carving knife? And then you see this. And it's like, oh, God, okay, I know I can get iron. Okay, so I need a small anvil. How do you make a small anvil? So this is the part of the learning curve that seriously frustrated me. Um, I seriously, seriously wish someone would have just told me, go ahead and make one of each tool, go ahead and make a small anvil, and then start worrying about all this other, like, so look, you go, okay, I need a small anvil. Oh, I need a mallet. How do you make a mallet? like, like literally Every single thing for that first week was that way. And boy, let me tell you how frustrating it was. It was so frustrating. And in my opinion, that's why so many people would choose not to play the game because it is frustrating. Kind of, I just went through like what 6, 7 menus just to make the was it the wheel axle large car? Yeah, so the wheel axle, right? Took me through all of these, and I'm double clicking if you can't tell. So to make the small wheel, and so yeah, it's crazy to me that it took me all the way through all of these windows, right? Trying to figure out what to make just to get the wheel axle. Okay. And then when you get the wheel axle, like you think, okay, I'm finally here. No, what you get instead is, let me see if I can find, so you go through, you grind out, you get your carving knife and all that stuff. You get your planks and your shafts, and you're like, oh, great, this is wonderful. I got it. No. What you get instead is an unfinished. So here's an unfinished item, right? You get an unfinished wheel axle. And if you add it to the crafting window, it'll say you need all this stuff to add to it. And it's like, well, darn. So again, man, it's just layers upon layers upon layers like that were super frustrating in the beginning, and no one was really, I guess, no one had the foresight to explain that to the new player here in the chat, which is understandable. My question was, what do I need to do for storage? And the answer is, it is make a large card. Problem with that is that they don't explain the prerequisites to get to the launch card, which is again wildly frustrating when you're new and you have no idea what's going on. But now I've come to expect it, and I go into most things thinking, oh, it's going to take me like a million years to get all this done, and then sometimes it takes forever, and sometimes it's like like these stone walls, they don't take nearly as long as I thought they would. I made a lot of these in a day. Not bad at all. Compared to some other things. So yeah, now I just go into it expecting it to take forever. What else was it? Oh, another issue that people have in the help chat is new players will come in and they will say, what do I need to do for XYZ, or where should I start? Like, what's the plan? And the big problem with the help chat is they all just say like, you can do whatever you want. I mean, that's the beauty of the game, right? Like, you can just start wherever, you can do whatever you like. The problem with that is new players don't know that any of this is even a remote possibility, right? And to aimlessly just stumble upon this stuff is just not going to happen. So what I've started to do is when I see that question in the chat, I will say, hey, go to the journal, press J, go to the journal, and just click the plus arrows and go through each and every one of these. Ask a ton of questions on the way as you complete it, and then you'll learn to play the game. I wish so much that someone had just told me to go through this, because this would have made things so much easier. It would have explained so much. It would have helped. It would have just clarified so much. And not once in that first week did I see anyone ever mention this journal, and I was pissed again because I discovered it just by accidentally clicking on the book down here. I was like, wait a minute, tutorial, first step, like this is the stuff that I learned by. Okay, so let's see what's in the first step. All this stuff right here, I learned most of this because I was trying to do things like making a large cart that I couldn't do yet. And a lot of this was greened out before I ever discovered the journal. And obviously, there's still a lot. So I wish someone would have just said, if you're new, press J and just go through these prompts as long as you can, do it and ask tons of questions along the way. Like that is in my opinion, going to be the best way to learn how to play it. Oops, wrong. Um, but yeah, that's a problem with the help window. Um, and the final issue with the help window and then getting help in the game has been a lot of people strongly overestimate the wiki or the Wormpedia, I guess it's called, which is I go examine, right? Or no, Wormpedia. If I click the book after I right click on something, it'll take you to the page. And in the help channel, so many people so strongly overestimate the information that's on the Wormpedia. Because a lot of the questions I would ask, people would kind of just nonchalantly just post a link to the Wormpedia as if, I hadn't already looked there. And the problem with it is so many things in the game. The Wormpedia just defines it. There's so many things that I ask questions about that the Wormpedia link just gave me a definition. It didn't tell me anything about I would ask, what about level? What levels do what? This item? How can I learn about different aspects of this item? And a lot of the thing, like how do I use this with that to make this? And a lot of those links that they gave me from Wormpedia, hard to think of specific examples right now, but a lot of them were just like straight up definitions, right? There was no there's no, definitely not the information I needed. So a lot of people really, really relied too heavily on the Wikipedia. Don't get me wrong, it's certainly helpful, but it's not this end all be all that a lot of people, it's just kind of, in some certain situations, it's held to be a little bit too much of an esteemed source of information. It's definitely got some flaws to it, and it is lacking in certain spots for a new player, for a truly new player who doesn't know what the heck's going on. Half the stuff, even now with like a month of playing this game, which I know is nothing. It's a month playing this game is basically still being brand new, but I still sometimes don't even know how to use the information in the Wikipedia links because it's just a definition to me. There's a lot of things that way in that, but that's the issue with the learning curves. Basically, is all the prerequisites is it's super annoying to make things like going through all those windows just to be able to make the wheel axle, for example. And that was annoying. And then the asking for help issues that I just described. So those are really the big issues, and I think that's a huge contributor to why people stop playing so soon. Um, but either way, it's all working out. I'm glad I stuck it out because I'm learning, and I've got this big grand plan right coming along. And um, speaking of that plan, I'm going to get back to it, get this done. My next video on this game, hopefully, all this will be done just as I had hopefully envisioned it for you. So, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the little box below. I will be sure to respond promptly. Adios.